And with that now, ladies and gentlemen, for the inaugural address for the plenary session this morning, I'm now going to request the Chairman of Central Water Commission and the President, Central Board of Irrigation and Power, Shri S. Masood Husain, to please address all of us. Let's welcome him once again to the podium with a big hand.
Thank you. Mr. Philip Molabu, Madam Began Richards, Mr. Mohammad Al-Tani, Mr. Aqilur Rahman, Mr. Kandlia, and Mr. Reji Pillai, distinguished participants, delegates, experts in the field. A very good morning to all of you. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, and I think perhaps for the inaugural address, the PowerPoint presentation is not required because it is not a technical session. First of all, I would congratulate Mr. Pillai and ISGF for organizing this wonderful event, which is focusing on the renewables as well as the smart water management. I would call it smart water management, although the title says smart water distribution. Management includes distribution and all related aspects. Although I am a man of water sector, because all my life I have been dealing with the water sources development and management, but because the topic being the mainstreaming renewables and smart water distribution, I'll briefly touch upon the renewable part. Of course, all the previous speakers before me have talked about either the smart renewables, how to manage them, how to make them efficient, how to run the system efficiently. But I'll just, in case of India, why we need renewables? Because it's a very clean energy, and now in view of the impact of climate change, we need to have more and more clean energy. We have to reduce our carbon emissions. So this is very important, not only for the our country, but for the entire world, for the entire globe, that we come and we shift to the clean energy. And these, as you know, these have a very significant positive social impacts. You all know very well, I mean, what are the types of renewables: the solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower. And we have to develop these on a sustainable basis, and we have to manage them on sustainable basis. This is very, very important. India for itself has set up a target of about 170 gigawatt by 2022, out of which the solar is about 100 gigawatt. Then this 175 includes a small hydropower, but so far as our total hydropower installed capacity is concerned, it is about 45,400, which is at present the installed capacity. So point is, we have to go a long way in renewables. A lot of focus on the solar power. Of course, this is for a country like India, which has a lot of sunshine. This is very, very important, advantageous, but there are limitations. So we have to take care of all these things. Although the power, solar power rates have come down, but it includes a lot of subsidy and other things. And the other important thing is the hydropower, because by working in the water sectors, we have been associated with hydropower also. This is a very important thing. India has a lot of hydropower potential which has not been utilized so far. It's about only about 15 to 20% of the hydropower has been utilized. This, because hydropower is something which is there for a very long time, and we know the advantages. Just on the click of a button, we can just start the power generation. So I would stress that we should focus more on the hydropower. I know, I mean, a lot of constraints, a lot of, now as the time passes, the hydropower projects, their planning, development and execution is becoming more and more difficult, but still we should focus on especially India because there is still a lot of hydropower potential which is untapped. Now coming to the water management, we call it now smart water management. What is, why? I mean, see, there is a water energy nexus. We are aware of the water energy nexus because they are all, I mean, both these are interdependent. And regarding water, water is something which cannot be created. Energy can be created. Yesterday it was thermal, then now solar, hydropower, so many, oil, but water is something which cannot be created. There's no substitute of water so far. So point is, and now we talk of global water crisis, climate change. So these are very big words. What is the global water crisis? Point is that we should be able to meet our requirements, whether it is for drinking water, for agriculture, for industry, or for energy. Energy sector is also consuming a lot of water. So we have to meet these requirements on a sustainable basis. This has not happened because of various reasons. Either we have polluted our water resources, either we have not been able to conserve our water resources, we have not developed. See, especially for a country like India, point is, unless and until you have storages, you can't manage the water. See, if water falls in just 2 to 3 months of monsoon season, unless and until we have these storages, we cannot utilize the water. Otherwise, the rest of the water is going into the sea. And this is what happening. The states in the country are fighting each other where the water is flowing into the sea. One state is not allowing the other state to develop the water, although the water may flow into the sea. So point is, we have to understand the water crisis, and the smart water management would require the development of water resources also, creation of water resources, storages, water conservation in all forms, whether it's small, big, medium, whether we go for check dams or groundwater recharge. So all these things we have to carry out. Otherwise, especially for a country like India, with a population of 130 crores, we are even now facing the water crisis, and drinking water crisis in many big cities, even small cities, medium cities. So point is, we have to take this very seriously in a mission mode, and for this we have to carry out the urban water management in the irrigation sector, which directly caters to the agriculture. See, so far as the domestic sector is concerned, a lot of cities are water stressed. The water supply is inadequate. So, and there are quality issues because many of our rivers have got polluted because we have not given proper attention. Most of the sewage from the cities and the rural areas was being directly led into the rivers, which led to the pollution of the rivers. So we have to take care of all these things. This is very important. Similarly, for smart water management in cities, we have to take care of the proper management. Distribution losses in the conveyance systems are quite large, from 25% to 40%. Then there's a gap in demand and supply. Our groundwater aquifers are depleting because we we are withdrawing too much of water and the recharge rate is much less. So as a result, what has happened is there is a groundwater crisis. A lot of areas, especially in our western part and northern parts, these have, you can say, dark zones so far as the groundwaters are concerned. So we have to manage our groundwater very, very properly, efficiently, and taking care of all these aspects. See, groundwater is supposed to be like a reserve in a bank. We should not indiscriminately, because the moment we keep on using the groundwater without developing the surface water, without caring for the recharge of groundwater, will lead to the situation where we are in today. Many of the areas, and it has led to the pollution of the groundwater also, arsenic problem, the fluoride and the other problems. Similarly, in the industrial sector, the efficiency is very low, like textiles. Many other industries in our country, the efficiency of water utilization is very low. We have to increase the water use efficiency, both in, not only in the industrial, in the domestic, as well as the irrigation sector, which is consuming the highest quantity of water. About 75 to 80% of the water is being consumed in irrigation sector. We have to give a lot of attention on increasing the water use efficiency. Unless and until we do that, we will not be able to manage the things properly. We are wasting too much of water in the irrigation sector. Nowadays, we have now shifted our focus to more efficient irrigation using micro irrigation methods like drip and sprinkler. We had a very recently international micro irrigation conference in January in Aurangabad, where we discussed all these issues, how to improve the water use efficiency using such methods. So the domestic sector, industrial sector, irrigation, and now comes the question of environmental flows, which are very, very important. By building structures, sometimes we have dried up the rivers for a certain stretch. So we have to take care of the environmental flows also. We have to ensure that there is a flow in the river for all, the period which was there earlier. So the government of India has already notified the minimum flows in the Ganga from Haridwar up to Kanpur. That has to be ensured by the concerned states and the project owners. So this is very important that we conserve our water sources. We take care of the health of the rivers. We should, the National Mission for Clean Ganga has been created for taking care of the health of river Ganga. They have initiated a number of projects for both pollution abatement as well as for taking care of other aspects of the water recharge and cleaning. So, these are some of the issues. The time is not there. This thing requires much more time. I am just trying to touch upon the things. The water resources development and management is very, very important, because there is a water and energy nexus. The energy sector is also using a lot of water, like thermal power plants and other energy sectors. So, and hydropower, as I just mentioned, we need to focus more and more, because in the long run, it is going to be the hydropower which will be sustaining the renewable sector. So I think with these words, I would like to conclude, and we hope that the right focus will be there on these aspects, because these are very, very important, both for the renewables as far as for the smart water management. Thank you very much.